Is Forsaken worth it in 2021? Nope, absolutely not. If you leave right now, all you need to know is to not spend any money on the Forsaken DLC. Bungie announced on October 7th that Forsaken will enter the Destiny Content Vault in February of 2022. When this happens, it will no longer be possible to play through the Forsaken campaign. The Tangled Shore is also being removed. As it stands, you can still purchase the DLC for $24.99 on Steam. This is really crappy for people who aren't aware of this upcoming change. The Forsaken campaign will become free for all players on December 7th, so I'd wait until that day to play through it. Now with that disclaimer out of the way, I'll move on to the original goal of this video. I wanted to create a couple of videos detailing some of the content that comes with each of the purchasable expansions. This is similar to my video on what is available for free-to-play players. Here's what you can do if you buy this DLC. I'm starting with Forsaken since it is the oldest DLC available. This won't be a perfect list, just one that I put together. If I miss anything key, let me know down in the comments. Let's get into it. The obvious starting point is the campaign. The first mission takes you to the Prison of Elders and concludes with Uldren Sov killing Cait Six. This launches a hunt for Prince Uldren and his scorned barons across the Tangled Shore. We team up with Petra and the Spider to take down the barons one by one. It's a solid story and the missions are fun. Forsaken really took things to the next level in just about every aspect. Each baron's mission has an element of uniqueness that keeps the hunt interesting. One mission, you'll be getting tricked by a fake exploding exotic engram. Another will have you chasing after one of the barons on a pike in a high-speed shootout. The campaign concludes with the most epic fight of man against meatball in all of history. You'll probably complete the campaign in around 4 hours or so. It's really hard to gauge since the power levels have crept up so much since Forsaken released. You won't have too much trouble getting through the missions. Forsaken has one of the best campaigns in all of Destiny's history. Make sure to play through it when the content becomes free on December 7th. Forsaken grants you access to the third subclass tree for each class. I'm not sure if this will become free for everyone or not. Seems like it should since this was part of Forsaken, but I haven't seen any details yet. The third subclass offers some really fun options for each character type, and some of them are must-haves whenever you tackle the tough in-game content. Starting with Hunter. The solar option gives you Blade Barrage. This super can do some damage, but it was toned down quite a bit due to how OP it was when originally introduced. The Void option gives you Spectral Blades. Of the three, this is my favorite for PvP. It isn't very practical in PvE content though. The Arc option gives you Whirlwind Guard. This is just like regular Arc Staff, but you can twirl your blade around to deflect projectiles. The deflected projectiles can harm the attacker, so this one can be a lot of fun in PvP in the right circumstances. Next up is Warlock. The Solar option gives you Will of Radiance. The super is a requirement for in-game content. Inside the well, you have crazy damage resistance and your weapons do more damage. This is bad news if you are a Warlock main because you'll be stuck running well forever. The Void option gives you Nova Warp. This is another fun PvP super. You charge your attack for a couple of seconds and then you release a blast all around you. There's also this teleport that lets you scoot around the map quickly. Not that great in PvE. The Arc option gives you Chaos Reach. This is the DPS beast for the Warlock class. It's nicknamed the Kamehameha Wave due to the move's similarity to the Ki Blast from Dragon Ball Z. This super is powerful and just plain fun. I saved the best for last. Titan. The Solar option gives you Burning Maul. This is the really big hammer that you can swing around or smash into the ground. It's not bad, but it's not great either. The Void option gives you Banner Shield. You can create an impenetrable shield that allies can shoot through for a damage boost. This one is another good option for in-game content. It offers protection from enemy fire, while also buffing the damage allies deal. Sounds similar to that Will of Radiance, right? The Arc option gives you Thunder Crash. This is the only class that matters. Go ahead and equip Thunder Crash, then never take it off. Fly through the air everywhere you go and just smash whenever you feel like it. This is the way of the Titan. Majestic. There are 4 Forsaken specific strikes. Root Hold, Hollowed Lair, Warden of Nothing, and the Corrupted. Root Hold and Hollowed Lair will both be removed from the game, but Warden of Nothing and the Corrupted are sticking around. Additionally, Warden of Nothing is getting added to the free-for-all players list. There's not much else to say about strikes. All of the strikes are available in the strikes playlist, so you've probably played through them before, even if you are a free-to-play player. What you are really getting with the purchase is access to the Nightfall version of these strikes. Nightfalls are the more difficult versions of the strikes with better rewards. That's really the only difference. If difficult in-game content is what you're after, then Forsaken will give you access to 4 more Nightfalls to complete. The very first dungeon introduced into the world of Destiny was the Shattered Throne. Dungeons were designed to be mini raids. You get a group of 3 people together and you tackle challenging enemies and puzzles. It's a ton of fun and I love it. I feel a lot of nostalgia for Shattered Throne. It was the first in-game content I soloed, and that was one of the first videos I ever posted on my channel. The Shattered Throne takes place in the Ascendant Realm and you get this spooky vibe from it. The setting is just plain beautiful. One cool little tidbit, you can actually see your destination from the starting point. It's the tall tower in the distance. You'll open a pathway, descend to the depths, slowly walk through a hallway of enemies, fight this really stupid ogre named Vorgath, and then stop a ritual being performed by the wizard Duelin Karu. There is an exotic weapon that can be earned from the Shattered Throne named Wishender. This is a bow that allows you to see enemies through walls. Trust me, it's not as good as it sounds. After you complete the Vorgath fight, there is a statue you can activate to start the quest chain. Since this quest involves the Tangled Shore, I'm assuming you'll be able to purchase Wishender from the kiosk starting in February. What else can I say about it? It's great. Play it as soon as you can. I give it a 10 out of 10. Shattered Throne isn't being removed from the game in February, so you don't have to stress about missing out on it. Last but not least, the Last Wish raid. The Last Wish takes you deep into the heart of the Dreaming City to destroy an Ahamkara named Riven that was taken. I know, I just used a lot of words that don't mean much. If you want some deep lore stuff, search for My Name is Bife on YouTube. Here's how I explain it. Ahamkara are magical space dragons that grant wishes. Being taken made Riven an enemy, and we had to do something about that to save the Dreaming City. The magical space dragon tricked us and a curse was activated that sent the Dreaming City into a Groundhog Day style time loop. If you've ever noticed the Dreaming City changes from week to week, that's the reason for it. After 3 weeks, the cycle repeats. The Last Wish is one of the best raids in Destiny history. I'd probably rank King's Fall from D1 slightly higher, but Last Wish is definitely near the top. This thing is fantastic. It takes place in the Dreaming City, which is my favorite destination in Destiny. Every area you travel to is gorgeous. Each of the boss encounters is unique and requires all players to be involved. There's also a lot of little secrets scattered around the raid. For example, the Wish Wall is a nice feature that players are still trying to figure out to this day. There is the elusive 15th wish that people post about every so often on Reddit. I don't think the answer exists in the game yet, but it is fun to think that there are still more secrets hidden in the Last Wish for us to uncover. My only criticism of this raid would be the vault encounter. I love every encounter except the vault. 3 players solve the puzzle while the other 3 stand around guarding a plate. It gets boring quickly if you are on the guarding team. If Bungie ever tweaks it, I think this encounter just needs to be a bit shorter. After the vault is open, you'll come face to face with the giant space dragon herself. Shoot her in the mouth until dead, then rip out her heart and carry it to the Techians for disposal. Since I rated Shattered Throne, I feel obligated to rate this one too. I'll give Last Wish a 9 out of 10. If it weren't for the vault, this would be a 10 out of 10 for sure. Like Shattered Throne, Last Wish is not being removed from the game. There's a long list of exotic weapons in the exotic kiosk that state Forsaken is required before you can purchase them. Due to the size of the list, I'm just going to quickly hit on each one. Ace of Spades is one of my favorite hand cannons, a complete beast in PvP. The last word seems to be really popular with controller users. I've never been able to get the hang of it. The Monarch will poison opponents over time, one of the best bow options out there. Jotun is a dirty, filthy, disgusting toaster. It shoots a fireball that tracks opponents. Lots of fun. Izanagi's burden was once the damage dealing king. You can combine multiple bullets into one extra powerful bullet. I've got a feeling it will shine again one day. Thorn is another good PvP weapon. Hit an opponent and they will receive damage over time. Lumina is a very unique weapon in that it can buff allies. Get a kill with it, pick up the orb that drops, then hip fire at an ally to buff them. Truth fires a rocket that will hunt you down like Liam Neeson. Bad Juju is a pulse rifle that refills ammo, increases damage, and charges your super quicker when you get kills. Anarchy is a heavy grenade launcher that sticks to enemies and does pulse damage every few seconds. This thing is great and you want it. Terrava is better than most people realize. Seriously, this thing tears through enemies when the perk is active. Deal or receive damage, activate perk, delete anything in front of you. Neato. I mentioned Wishender earlier. Start the quest from within the Shattered Throne. Can't buy this one from the kiosk yet. The other big one that isn't in the kiosk is 1000 Voices. You can't purchase it, it has to randomly drop from the final chest in the Last Wish raid. Hopefully you have better luck than me. I didn't get it to drop until about a month ago. You see here? This is the face of someone who died inside long ago. But 1K is a good option right now due to the fusion rifle mods that are available this season. Forsaken represented a turning point in the history of Destiny 2. Year 1 of D2 was a rough time. We had double primaries, longer recharge rates, and movement in general was much slower. With the release of Forsaken, Bungie switched back to the primary-secondary weapon style from D1, and we got the Go Fast update. I loved Forsaken. The campaign, the raid, the dungeon, the destinations, it was all great. If you haven't experienced any of this for yourself, be sure to check it out whenever the content becomes free in December. Once it goes into the DCB, we probably won't ever see it again, and that's depressing. I don't want to end this video on a depressing note. Here's a cat ear dance to cheer you up.